Hey guys and gals, Nary here from Drake Wing Gaming. So if you know me on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming at you with a new Let's Play series to kind of replace Soul Creek for now. We're going to be playing Undefeated, a furry visual novel blood sport. Very interested in this. The description kind of wowed me. I'm like, wow, okay. Contestants fighting for their lives and kind of a Running Man style competition, I guess. Those of you not familiar with Running Man, go back and watch it. It's a Arnold Schwarzenegger classic. So anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and just jump right back in, or jump right in for the first time, I guess. Shall we? All right, this is Undefeated. Alarm tenure up, and let's go. All right. This visual novel is a work in progress. Any contents present are subject to change. Undefeated is intended for audiences age 18 or older. This visual novel may contain scenes that include intense graphic violence, substance abuse, and strong language. Reader discretion is advised. All our favorite things, I guess. Well, where's the sex at? Alright, kid, you're up. The chill of the metal floor nearly shocks me out of my focus. This place has been underground for some time now, so it only makes sense that the floor is this cold. I step onto the elevator, accompanied by an attendant. The stoat is dressed in formal black clothes, like a dealer at a casino. From an outside perspective, it's probably a pretty strange contrast next to me. The door closes behind us. The world I've come to know so far vanished behind me, just like that. This is the path I've chosen. The elevator's waking growl shakes me back into my senses, and with those senses, my anxiety. So, my eyes dart to the stoat. He's turned his head down to face a tablet. Standard procedure stuff, really. You read the contract, rules should be familiar to you. No eye gouging, no killing, no foreign objects. His speech trails into more of a drone. I can't seem to focus on him. There should be a fire in my stomach right now, that burning desire that everyone that belongs here has. It was with me earlier, but right now it's all I can do to keep myself from throwing up. Maybe that's what that burning feeling actually is. The stoat keeps speaking. I should probably listen. Your contract requires you to win at least one fight before you're allowed dismissal. If you faint, submit, are forced out of the ring for 10 seconds, or are unable to fight for any reason, you lose. My ears twitch at that last bit. He looks up at me. Any questions? I realize now I've been staring straight at him this whole time. I nod as if I've been paying attention the whole time. My mouth feels dry, welded shut. I don't know what I'll say, but he's expecting an answer, so I breathe out loud. My breathing is a lot shakier than I expected it to be. In fact, my whole body is tensed up, like cables holding up a suspended bridge. I can't force myself to relax. I think the stoat notices too. His paw rests itself tenderly on my shoulder. Hey, kid, take a breath. His expression lightens up. You're gonna be fine. Everyone's first time is like this. I open my mouth to speak, but all I can muster is another shaky breath. You're Alex, right? I swallow. It's Zander, actually. He pauses and looks down to his tablet. Says Alex here. Listen, Alex. It's just your first fight in the big leagues. Don't get so nervous. People don't start judging until the third or fourth fight. Just do what you know you have to do. And when that bell rings, don't stop until you hear it ring again. I nod, still too queasy to actually respond. He's right. I've been training for years. I should be ready. I drop the tension in my shoulders. I roll my neck, feeling the muscles stretch out. I won't stop for anything. The elevator's whirring had become ambience at this point. Only noticeable by its new absence as the elevator rolled to a stop. The stoat tapped on his tablet, scrolling his paw up a few times. All right, so your first opponent today is... The stoat's brow furrows uncomfortably, his muzzle contorting to a slight frown. That doesn't seem right. That queasy feeling leaks back from the pit of my stomach, like a ship slowly slipping underwater. It says your opponent today is Bruce, which, can't really be possible. He laughs. It feels genuine. Well, that figures. Even our system can get mixed up sometimes. I'm sure it's just an error on my end. I do wish I could at least tell you who it'll be, though. That usually puts some people at ease. I think that sort of went out the window when you said I'll be going against Bruce. He laughs again, and my anxiety melts a bit when he does. I've been in this elevator for what feels like hours. It's nice to hear someone act so casually. Just then, the door slides open, then a second set of doors immediately behind them. And behind that is inky blackness. I have no time to be nervous. I have no energy left to waste on it. The more I focus on the anxiety at hand, the worse off I'm going to be. His paw claps against my shoulder. Well, whoever it is, knock him dead, kid. I nodded. Thank you. My feet are grateful to leave the cold surface, though a part of me didn't want to leave. But now the doors have shut, and all I have is me. No one can change what happens to me from this point on. I'm responsible for what happens. Though I wouldn't mind if someone turned on the lights here. Just like the elevator, the air here could only be described as stale. It makes sense given how far underground we are. It's a little bit chilly, though. Not the ideal temperature for fighting conditions, but I imagine that will change once... Ah! Right? Ah. Fuck. Fang. It takes me a moment to adjust to the lighting. I'm familiar with the layout, but it kind of surprises me how much bigger it is than on TV. A wide, circular room with a ceiling that stretches at least 20 feet above the floor. If I squint hard enough, I can make out a few cameras pointing down at the space. Huge stage lights pour down into the space. Shit's brighter than the sun, it feels like. Oh, right. The sun. Two massive glass panels reflect the arena back at me. I can assume they're one-way mirrors. They can see me. I can't see them. I creep closer to the center of the arena. The barren concrete of the floor could fit a small crowd. Closer to the center, a wide circle, maybe 35 or 40 feet in diameter, had been painted along the floor. I've seen this all before. This is my first chance actually seeing it up close and in person. Most people don't get the chance to do this. Lucky me. Please wait at your designated mark behind the ring. I nearly jump out of my hide. A small voice spoke plainly over the intercom. I forgot that people were watching from behind those cameras. Thousands of people. I shake it off, shake it off. I loosen my joints on my way to the designated mark behind the ring. The only thing that stands before me is the paint on the ground, and the elevator door on the opposite end of the room. I've been staring it down for so long, half expecting it to not open. And then it opens. Oh. Oh, that's a big dude. Bruce? Oh my. The elevator's closed. The elevator door closes. I can see him much clearer. It really is him. Words fail me. My heart picks up in pace and my breathing follows suit. I feel small. Well, smaller in comparison. I had known his body was weathered when I saw it on TV, but seeing it up close like this was like nothing I could have imagined. Scars littered his body. One crossed his snout with a few marking past attempts on his chest and midsection. I think I remember his stats back when I would watch his fights. 7 feet tall, 350 pounds, the size seemed so trivial before. But now that he stands across the ring from me, I realize how it feels up close, like the chill of death skittering down my spine. He opens his eyes, that piercing yellow gaze boring holes into mine, and I realize I've been staring right into him this whole time. His brow furrows, much like the attendant's earlier. His stoic, solid stance stutters. His jaw crunches up near the edges, and he starts to laugh. Loudly. Ha 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 ha! Ha! I jump with how sudden his outburst was. Are they serious? Is this a prank? The dinosaur points to a camera. Is this you, Frank? Booking me a fight like this? Ha ha! Bruce laughs a few more weak chuckles. Oh, I almost want to laugh too. The beast folds his arms over his chest, smiling down at me. Heh! So, kid, what's your name? My body is trembling again. There's no way this is happening. I'm not about to leave my opponent unanswered. Zander! I spat the name like the frog in my throat was leaping out. Bruce thumbs at the stubble on his chin. His mouth was still curled up in a selfish smile. Zander, eh? Heh, nice to meet you. The dinosaur does not extend a handshake. So how'd you get in here? Is this some kind of charity thing? They usually only bring me down here for the title fights. No, He flashes a toothy grin. You want me to sign something? I didn't bring a pen. This is my... Bruce moves into the circle, toward me. I consider backing away, but the man clearly has no personal space issues. He reaches out, clutching my arm. His grip is tighter than I had imagined, which was already pretty fucking tight. The leathery palm presses hard into my fur, and I swear it nearly scratches my skin. I'm not here as a fan. I yell, mostly out of fear, thinking it would stop him. I'm a fighter. As I cry out, Bruce pulls my arm, and subsequently the rest of me past the markings of the painted ring. Once I cross over, a tone rings out over the arena. I know that tone. That's the start of the fight. And by the look frozen on Bruce's face, he knows it too. He should at least by now. Maybe if I act now, I can catch him off guard. The attendant did say to start as soon as the bell rings. I'll stun Bruce with the strikes to the liver. Once he's disoriented, I'll force him out of the ring. Not like there's any way I'll render him unconscious. It's unfortunate that Bruce grabbed my right arm. I'm no southpaw, so giving a power strike with my left is a bit awkward. But the bell's tone still fresh in my ears. I plant my right foot. It's even more awkward with Bruce still holding onto my bicep, but I should be fine. Don't do it, dude. He's gonna fucking hip check you. He's gonna throw you. He's got your arm. He can probably lift you up and throw you. You already had a really big disadvantage there, buddy. My hips twist themselves violently to the right, and with them my shoulders, followed by my newly formed fist. Bruce's right arm has been the one to grab my bicep, so his side was totally unprotected. My lips flare up slightly as my blow connects. Half from ferocity with which I struck, the other half is from the sting his skin had inflicted onto my bare fist. I swear I must have scraped my knuckles. Bruce's body is more akin to the heavy bags I spent countless hours practicing on. That thick, leathery skin wasn't just a myth people claimed dinosaurs had. That hide is dangerous. What's more, Bruce hadn't even flinched from the blow. In fact, I feel his grip on my arm as firm as ever. I'm almost scared to look up. Bruce took care of that for me, though. Without much of a chance to retaliate, my right arm is wrenched uncomfortably into the air. Something snaps. I grip my teeth, letting out a weak growl as Bruce throws me behind him, my body crashing down to the center of the space. I scramble to orient myself upright, my feet shuffling along the concrete. It's all I can do to keep the focus off my shoulder. It's a pain I've felt before, but not one that I really wanted to feel ever again. If it's not broken, it's definitely dislocated. Not that it really matters. Bruce's shadow loomed over me, silhouetted from the lights above. I can't read his face. I don't really know what kind of shit luck got you into this fight with me. I'm on my feet now, though I could hardly call my stance steady. Bruce doesn't move. But I've got a job to do, and judging by your little stunt there, seems you do too. This is bad, obviously. Think, you fucking idiot. That liver shot would have taken him out. But it didn't, and now you can't move your arm. The only attempt I make to move my shoulder erupts in even more pain. It feels like it's about to burst. A desperate cry tries to burst through my throat, but his grip traps it inside. It feels the other palm tighten around my throat. I gasp out, trying to speak, but all I can muster is a desperate choke. His claw digs into the side of my neck. My feet leave the cement, Bruce lifting me off the ground by my throat. Bruce carries me like a sack of dead weight to the edge of the ring. I know I'm dangling just outside the edge of it. Damn! Ugh. His gaze pierces through mine, my body dangling uselessly at the end of his limb. Bruce flashes a wicked grin. He looks ecstatic, insatiable, despite having done this countless times. A chill crawls up my body as his free hand traces my midsection. You're pretty well built, he snorts. For a shrimp. I don't even know if I should try to respond. The larger man lets out a grunt, and a sting breaks through my midsection. My face crumples up. Bruce's fist is forcing its way against my abs, and judging by the pain, it's found its target. My left arm reaches up against his wrist in an attempt to fight back. The same explosive pain streaks up against my torso. Bruce has reeled his fist back before I could even see it move. I feel my lungs flattening in my body as the strength leaves me. Tears trickle down from my shuttered eyes. I can't breathe. I can't move. I look up and just stare into his eyes. Looks like I got the fight squeezed out of you. I wonder if he can feel my fear. If he can understand my thoughts. If he can, he probably doesn't care. If this does end up being charity, I'm probably in a shit ton of trouble. I don't think I would laugh if I could. I try to communicate my concession to the dinosaur through my eyes. My right arm dangles uselessly to my side. I can't feel it, but I know it's there. My left arm is draped across his wrist. Bruce just stares into my eyes. I'm gonna die. See you soon, kid. He spoke shortly, like a promise rather than a threat. Tears were still crawling down my face. The distance between our faces extends, with Bruce pushing my head away from his as he reels his back. My face is pulled forward, aiming straight for the dinosaur's forehead. Ow! I knocked you the fuck out, at least. My vision goes white. I don't even feel the headbutt. I don't really feel anything right now. I don't remember hitting the ground, but I guess I'm here now. People are standing over me, talking. Loudly. Christ. I should probably open my eyes. It's pretty dark still, but I can see a beacon of light. A dark shadow stands before it. The shadow shifts, stepping into the space, and a second later the darkness swallows the light from either side. One of the men standing to either side of me grips my left shoulder gently. Can you stand? I grunt and pull myself up to a standing position, albeit incredibly unstable. We need to ask you a few questions. Try to stay awake for us, bud. To be frank, sleep sounds fucking amazing right now. Everyone is so loud. What is your name? Zander. Where are you? I sigh. A Fang leak fight. We're in the ring, if you want specifics. Do you remember what happened? My head hurts. The lights are way too goddamn bright. I got knocked out, and I think my shoulder is fucked. They give a chuckle and mumble something under their breath. The person keeps asking me questions, and I keep answering them. They take me to an elevator. They straight to the med bay to put me in a gown. I just go through the motions, waiting for when they'll let me take a nap. A few nurses wheel me around from room to room, running a few tests. I'm glad I just have to sit still for most of it. It's all kind of a blur. I just answer whatever questions they throw my way. After a few hours, they declare my concussion is only mild and give me the go-ahead to get some sleep. Thank God. The hospital bed here is really firm. Reminds me of being back home. Not a bad thing per se, but I actually really enjoy firm mattresses. Though I doubt something as simple as mattress firmness is going to keep me from sleeping tonight. I can barely keep my eyelids open. For a few seconds, I see that scene from before, like it's burned into my vision. The dark figure standing in the light. I swear it was waiting for me. I don't know how long I've been sleeping, but it feels nice to have my eyes closed, so I've just been laying here for a while. The electronic drone of my room was getting on my nerves, though. A slow sigh crawls out of my muzzle, and my eyes finally pull themselves awake. I must have been crying. My eyes hadn't been that heavy in a long while. The sterile white ceiling stares down at me. I crane my vision to my left, and some memories of the night before flood back into my head. Seems I've been hooked to an IV and EKG machine. My right arm is in a sling. Fucking great. My attempt to sit up was immediately met with resistance through a heavy, dull pain shooting down through the center of my skull. Fuck. I pushed through, the pain fading away with a few pulses, like a heartbeat through my brain. I can hear a conversation that's outside my door. It sounds like people are talking loud, but it's a ways away. Alright, guys and gals, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right here. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, leave a super thanks, or a tip if you can, it always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!